a Canadian radio sanctuary podcast. Thanks for joining us here today, and Alex Deeth is our guest. He's with the group Rusty Creek. Alex, give us a little bit of your life story.
Well, my life story is like this. I was born in Victoria, and after a few family members died, mother and father, I ended up in Vancouver, which in 1958. I started playing the violin because my granddad was from Ireland, and he was an amazing fiddle player and violinist. And I did that till I was about 13 when I got tired and got beat up at school with the violin. So I picked up a guitar and I took 2 guitar lessons. The Rolling Stones didn't hire me, so we started our own friggin' band. So played in garage bands and stuff, and eventually I joined a band called the Blue Boys. And then that turned into the Wicked Orange. And the Wicked Orange ended up being the first West Coast Canadian band to be signed by Columbia Records. And that was great. We spent 12 years on the road as a road warrior, playing everywhere you can imagine. And then I took a break for years and did some duos, some trio work. And then I left to go back east because I was building wind farms back east. And then I did some solo work and took some fiddle lessons with a top Canadian player in Halifax. Moved back here in 2013. Almost immediately ran into my old buddy Peter Calloway, who we used to play together in our big 9-piece band we had back in the 80s called NQR. And that was an all original act too, and which I wrote the song for. So in 2013, we started fooling around, and about 2015, the actual Rusty Creek band started. We started as a duo, a trio, a quartet. Next thing you know, we're 6-piece. And we recorded the first album called Looking Back in 2018, and we just finished releasing our brand new album, Road of Life, about 2 months ago. That's basically where we are. I'm just, as we speak, getting ready to finish off some songs and get a new album started.
I must say that you have on YouTube, you have some excellent concert videos.
Yeah.
I like the one, well, I like a number of them, but Mikey's Place in Gastown, that's a nice one.
We were really happy with that. I mean, Mikey called up and said, "Hey, you want to do this thing?" We went, "Sure." And we went down there, and he was great, and his studio was great. The sound, the actual sound in the studio was great. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing that. And Mikey was a good guy. He now lives in Parksville. He's got something going over there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Mikey was cool.
Well, what we'll do is when we post this podcast, we'll put various links to your work and also the Mikey's Place show as well.
Sure.
Yeah. And the Sylvia Hotel. Now, not just your involvement, but I know our friend Julie Brown in Hot Mamas and a number of other performers have worked the Sylvia Hotel in the West End of Vancouver quite a bit lately. That's becoming quite the place to play, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the Hot Mamas been playing there for 12 years. We've been playing there for 6 years. The thing about the Sylvia is, well, first of all, it's only 2 sets. The money is not that great, but that doesn't matter. We like playing there. All the musicians like playing there for one reason. First of all, it's a cool old lounge, and people come to listen. They come to sit and listen to you play. That's magic for a musician, to have people come and pay and sit there and actually listen to you and enjoy. And in my case, I get them to sing along. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the Sylvia is a very cool place. The Hot Mamas are great. We love the Hot Mamas. They're spectacular.
Going over a bit of your history and your interest in various things in the music vein, the French Quarter in New Orleans, that's one of your favorites, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I love New Orleans. I can't believe it took me all those years to finally discover the place, and now all I can think of is New Orleans. I love it down there. It's spectacular. It's like another place on another planet almost. The music, the food, the culture. Yeah, it's just a great place.
For people who are hearing this and they haven't heard your music before, would it be fair to call your music roots music?
Yes, it's roots music, and our I guess our claim to what we call it is roots remastered. And what that really means is we try and do all our stuff acoustic. So there's no backing tracks. There's no all the wham down fancy stuff. So we're on mandolin, bouzouki, guitar, dobro. But the only thing that's electric is electric bass, and Peter when he plays his pedal steel. But otherwise, we go back to roots, and so we're trying to keep everything in that vein, not autocorrect and not auto tune, and just who we are.
Yeah,
and that's what we like.
Now, the other members of the group, other than you and Peter, are they a pretty fixed, solid group of performers, or do some of the players leave for a while and somebody takes their place? How does that work?
Well, what's going on is we had a great rhythm section for 5 years, but unfortunately, fortunately for him, Leonard moved to Edmonton because of the house pricing and stuff, and so he's out there. Lee Stevens is still our bass player, but on the album, because I write songs in different genres, different styles, we brought in lots of Vancouver top players to come in and play with us because they like my tunes and we like them, and so that's why we've got various people come in and join us. And when we play live, quite a few of them come and play with us too.
All right. Well, that sounds fantastic. I want to touch on this area too, and this is the fact, this fascinated me, Curve of Time. It's based on a book by Muriel Wiley Blanchette. Well, why don't you tell us the story, how that came about?
Okay, well, first of all, back years ago, because I'm older now, I used to do a lot of hiking. I did the West Coast Trail twice. I've done the Stein Valley, all kinds of long time treks, 7 days in a week and so on. So I discovered that book years ago. I thought it was kind of cool being a West Coast guy. I always dug that book. So anyway, I was in the Stein Valley. It was late at night. I was sitting on the edge of the river listening, and I could hear voices in my mind. I could hear voices, or just something going on. So the Stein Valley is a special place for me, and so I wrote that song. So the song basically was I was trying to say, what would the Beatles have done if they were Rusty Creek and they wanted to write a song and they wanted to do it in our style? In other words, it's my version of trying to be day to life, right? Mm-hmm. Which is, I know that sounds pretentious, but that's what we try to do. And we had a lot of fun in the studio. We used every gadget you can imagine in the studio to make it sound like that. And we did a great video too. The video was a real trip. Mm-hmm. We really liked the video.
But the author of the book, Muriel Wiley Blanchette, her story, and let me just read a little bit here. Back in 1927, Blanchette, who was a widow with 5 kids, would cruise in a 25-foot boat through the Salish Sea and the coastal waters of BC. And she did this every summer, didn't she, with her kids?
Yeah, it was depression time. So rather than depress, she took her kids out for boat rides and explored the inside passage. It was really cool. And I guess the idea of curve of time, I guess what it really means is this. Okay, so time is a curve. So you could be in this spot today and it's in the now, but it also could be 10,000 years ago, or it could be 10,000 years in the future. So the idea when I was at the Stein Valley, I was in the now, but you could almost hear stuff from behind and think, well, what would it be like in the future? So it's sort of like a little philosophy about living in the now, because the curve of time will still be there. Sort of.
Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, one last thing. We just released our new video last week, and it's called Hello, Old Friend. It's off. It's one of the songs on the album, and it's our latest video. So I encourage people to watch it because we're really quite proud of it.
Good for you. Well, that's nice to hear. Thank you.
And thank you.
You take care now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.